Imagine checking your bank account, and instead of feeling anxiety or dread, you feel relieved and proud. You might think you need a fortune to reach that level, but the truth is, there's a smaller milestone, transformative number, that completely changes how you feel about money, and it might surprise you. That number is $10,000. Over the past few years, I've spent countless hours reflecting on the psychology of money, how wealth is actually built, and why some people seem to climb the financial ladder almost effortlessly, while others remain stuck in the same cycle. If you've ever wondered how to break free from financial anxiety and start building real wealth, then this video is for you. And if this helps, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like this video. It might change the way you see money forever. Before we dive into why $20,000 is the real milestone that will change everything, let me ask you a simple question. When you think of someone building wealth, what comes to mind? Maybe you imagine a trust fund kid who never had to worry about money, or perhaps you picture someone working hard for decades, saving a little bit at a time. But the truth is, wealth building doesn't work the way most people think. It's not about saving every penny and waiting decades for a big payoff. Here's the point. There are certain financial limits that act like invisible walls. Once you break through them, everything changes. $20,000 is that first limit. It's the point that separates those who truly build wealth from those who stay stuck, living paycheck to paycheck. And the best part? Most people don't even realize this limit exists. Let me give you an analogy to explain what I mean. Imagine trying to push a huge boulder uphill. In the beginning, it feels like an impossible task. You're sweating, straining, and barely making any progress. You wonder if you'll ever reach the top. But once you gain momentum, things start to shift. The boulder starts rolling downhill, and before you know it, it's moving almost by itself. That's how it feels when you hit $20,000. Everything before this point feels like you're pushing uphill. Everything after it feels like gravity is working in your favor. But here's where it gets even more interesting, and this will probably surprise you. It's not just about having more money to invest or getting bigger returns. The real magic happens in your brain. When you're broke, your mind operates in survival mode. Every financial decision comes from a place of fear and scarcity. You take the first job that comes along, even if it's terrible, because you can't afford to be picky. You stay in jobs or situations that drain you because leaving feels too risky. You say yes to things you don't want to do because you need the money. This isn't just about being practical. It's your brain operating on autopilot, scrambling to survive. But once you hit that $20,000 milestone, everything changes. You begin to think differently. Instead of asking how you're going to survive until the next paycheck, you start asking yourself, how can I make this money grow? You stop reacting to every financial crisis and begin being proactive about building wealth. Research from Vanguard shows that having just $2,000 saved for emergencies increases your financial well-being by 21%. That's less than many people spend on a vacation or the latest gadget they bought. But this small buffer changes everything, pulling you out of survival mode and putting you into growth mode. When you raise your savings to cover 3 to 6 months of living expenses, around $20,000 for most people, the results are even more dramatic. Now you're no longer in survival mode, you're in growth mode. Now let's talk about the numbers. If you're saving $1,000 per month and earning an 8% return on your investments, it will take about 19 months to reach $20,000. That's a year and a half of discipline, sacrifice, and delayed gratification. It's not easy, and most people give up along the way. But here's the part that will excite you. Once you hit that first $20,000, the next $20,000 won't take 19 months. It will only take about 17 months. Why? Because now your first $20,000 is working for you. It's generating returns, and those returns are compounding, meaning your money is doing some of the heavy lifting. You haven't changed anything about how much you're saving, but the timeline has already shortened. By the time you work on your third $20,000, the timeline shortens even more. Your money is doing more work, while you continue putting in the same effort. When you hit higher numbers, the acceleration becomes almost surreal. Here's the most mind-blowing part. Once you hit $400,000, you can generate your next $20,000 in just 5 months. The same amount that took almost 2 years to save can now be generated almost automatically. That first $20,000 might have seemed impossible, but once you break through that barrier, each subsequent milestone gets easier. You might think that wealthy people have access to secret investment opportunities that regular people can't touch. There's some truth to that, but here's the real secret. It's not about secret investment worlds or exclusive funds. It's basic math. When you invest $1,000 and it grows by 10% in a year, you make $100. But take that same 10% growth and apply it to $10,000, and now you're looking at $1,000 in profit. That's the power of scale. A 10% return on $2,000 isn't life-changing, but a 10% return on $20,000? Now we're talking about real money. $2,000 in just 1 year. And the best part, you didn't have to work harder for that money. It was your existing money working for you. But here's the most powerful part of all. Once you have $20,000 saved, you've done something far more valuable than just accumulating money. You've created a new mindset, a new identity. Saving $20,000 takes serious discipline. It means tracking every dollar, making sacrifices, and saying no to temptations. It means resisting the urge to spend your savings on unnecessary things. And most importantly, doing this consistently for months and even years. And when you do this, you prove to yourself that you're in control of your money, not the other way around. This isn't just a financial skill, it's a life skill. And it changes everything about how you handle money. Before $20,000, spending $4 on a coffee might have been a tough decision. After you hit $20,000, those small purchases aren't a big deal anymore because you've mastered the art of delayed gratification. When you have $20,000 saved, you start seeing opportunities, not threats. When unexpected expenses arise, they no longer feel like a disaster. Your car needs repairs? An inconvenience. Your laptop broke. Time for an upgrade? Your rent increased? Maybe it's time to negotiate. And this shift in perspective opens up even more possibilities. You begin to notice opportunities that were always there but were out of reach before. You can invest in your friend's new business, consider a rental property, or explore new career opportunities without the stress of wondering how you're going to pay next month's rent. Once you pass the $20,000 barrier, you start rethinking major purchases. You stop worrying about little things, like which cereal brand to buy, and start focusing on bigger decisions that truly impact your financial future. Where you live, how you invest, how much you save, and where you put your energy. Here's the final point. Once you build this mindset, you'll realize that many of the things you thought you wanted aren't that important after all. That bigger house? A little more space would be nice, but is it worth delaying your financial independence by 5 years? That expensive hobby? It's fun, but there are probably cheaper ways to get the same satisfaction. The secret here isn't about becoming a miser who never enjoys anything. It's about being intentional with your money instead of letting it slip away on things that don't truly matter to you. When you have clear financial goals and understand the power of compound interest, it becomes much easier to distinguish between what you want and what you really want. Look, $20,000 won't make you rich overnight, but it will fundamentally change the way you think about money and opportunity. It's the difference between surviving and thriving, between reacting to life and designing it. Start building that foundation today, because your future self will thank you for the decision you make right now. If this resonates with you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more tips on how to take control of your finances and transform your life. You've got this. Keep going.